2, 3, fire!
Knights, Vikings, Samurai, Woolen, Outlanders, 4. Okay, so we get to see what kind of gameplay improvements they're going to be adding for this season. I don't know what they're going to be adding, but I'm excited. You know what? It's always good that they go ahead and add some improvements when it comes to the game. Keeps the game updated, because we all know, For Honor isn't the same For Honor from when it first came out.
Back, Warriors.
It's changed a lot, so yeah.
You're here with us today to talk about our next segment, and joining me here on the couch is our Lord and Savior JC. Once again, welcome. I know
JC,
session too, but you're still here, and we're still.
And we got Vanessa back.
That's amazing. And also the queen of all animation, Vanessa, is here on the couch. Thank you, Vanessa, for joining us today. So. Listen, Warriors, we brought 2 heavy hitters today to talk about a little gameplay improvement that we wanted to share with you all. We've received some comments here and there on Reddit. A little wild.
Oh, whoa. What
Sorry,
the heck?
There's a lot of space, right?
There's a lot. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a lot of comments, but I mean...
Oh, dude, are they going
to... finally able to say, we're removing Reflex Guard!
Oh, done.
Get out of here.
They get, wow, they did it.
Yeah,
They freaking did it.
We are very excited to announce this today, to bring this to you. So, yeah,
I've been waiting for so long.
We apologize for all the deceit and the subterfuge, but
dude, a lot of people.
So,
even when For Honor first came out, a lot of people wanted Reflex Guard to go away. And now, after what? Almost 6 years now? The game is finally getting rid of it.
Like, if you have your guard in a direction, it slowly fades away and you go back to neutral. Whereas on a static guard,
and also if anybody does not know, the Reflex Guard was actually only available for the assassin heroes. Plus the Shaolin, because the Shaolin is actually the only hybrid that actually has the Reflex Guard.
So yeah,
all the other assassins,
next week,
they had it.
The season. No more Reflex Guards.
Wow,
so
dude,
it's
awesome.
Pretty big. So who does
Everyone's gonna be happy about that.
Again, if you're newer with us,
yeah, see right there. That's what let's talk about. The Peacekeeper, Orochi, Berserker, Gladiator, Nuxia, Shinobi, Shaolin, and the Shaman. All these, except for the Shaolin, which is in hybrid, all the assassins. No more Reflex Guard.
But it's great. But, this is such a big deal for us. It's such a big change. We wanted to kind of share with you a bit about the journey, maybe give you a little background on, where this came from and then, how we came to be here today with this. So to do that, JC, do you want to explain a bit about the history of Reflex?
Yeah, so it's a long, complicated history. But essentially,
it was a long time ago.
I know, I'm sure some of our viewers were there, and I think the very, very first close beta that we did, where Reflex Guard was essentially, if you blocked last second, well, if you actually blocked with those assassin heroes, it would always deflect. That was a bit too strong, so that changed. It evolved over time, and ended up switching into what we have today in game. That will change next week, which is your Decaying Guard. So that's kind of interesting.
So this is going live next week.
That happens there.
Awesome.
That's awesome. At some point we had some heroes that had different timings for the Reflex Guard.
What a great way to start the season, right?
Had a shorter time for it. Some heroes were a bit longer. So we've changed those over the years, but we wanted to keep it. And so the initial thought behind Reflex Guard was that because you have Deflex, because you have another really bonus that we really thought back in the day was going to be really, really strong, which is you kind of hide your guard, right? So if when we saw in the video there, on live right now even, right? If you pick Orochi, for example, you switch your guard to the right, and then when it's over, you get back to the middle. And so if you lock onto somebody, and that person did not see you switch your guard, they don't know which side the attack is going to come from. So that was one part of, well, this is actually a really, really good bonus, because then your opponents can't really match your stance. If you're playing against Warden, for example, right now, you can, if you're locked onto them and they're locked onto you, you see what stance they're in all the time, so you can just match, and it makes blocking them a little bit easier. Now, as time went on, we found that that strength of Reflex Guard was not as effective as we wanted it to be. So that's one part of what's, well, yeah, okay, so the bonus, the benefit of having Reflex Guard doesn't really fit here that much. The other benefit that we used to have that we got rid of a couple of years ago was that if you had an assassin and you wanted to do an attack in a different stance, your guard switch delay, so the time you would take before you switch your stance and attack, was 100 milliseconds. And for other heroes, it was 300. So we switched this like a while ago, like I think like 3 or 4 years ago or something like that, where it was standardized at 100 MS for everybody because it kind of impacted the static guard heroes a bit too much. So those were like the main benefits, but seeing as they're not real benefits, then what we're left with outside of Deflect, which is a good thing to have, is the bad things about Reflex. The drawback, right? And so the two main drawbacks are that first of all, you have to refresh your guard between every single hit. When you're in a group fight and a bunch of people are attacking you, there's indicators everywhere. It's really difficult to have to like block somebody and have to re-put it again.
It's frustrating too because you kind of do it, but it.
Yeah, and sometimes you're like, oh, I did it, but it happened too late and stuff. So that's a bit difficult there. And then the other thing that's a bit trickier is that when that guard expires, right now, like when we saw in those videos, like the little like the guard indicator kind of fades away. When it expires, there's a short window there where you absolutely cannot block anything. And so this is problematic because then at high level players and even like sometimes at a little bit lower level, it would happen to you randomly as well, where you could time attacks to land in that specific window when you were good enough to recognize it, and then your opponent just literally could not block. They absolutely had to dodge and create other issues.
They're like vulnerable.
Yeah, you're vulnerable for a little bit, and so that was a problem there. So at the end of the day, we went, well, okay, we actually need to remove this card. Right? We had a lot of people in the community have been wanting to remove it. Clearly, we've seen it for a while. We've been wanting to remove it for a while as well. I think we started planning this like over 2 years ago.
Yep.
But as Vanessa can tell you, it was a long journey. It's not as simple as we would have liked.
That's right. There's no button that just says.
Yeah.
Hey, remove,
I wish at this point. I wish we had one, but no.
Yeah.
We had to,
again, it was a bit of a journey too.
Yeah.
So, do you want to explain a bit about like what the impact was for you and your team?
Yeah, basically, I mean, we had to redo everything. In terms of animation, it was a pretty huge task. Of course, gameplay-wise, like there's complexity to do this, but it resides in the animation because we had to reshot all the navigation for each heroes. They navigate in their neutral stance, that we call them. But now we had to add more, like all their static stance in navigation. The thing is, player knows those characters. They've been playing them forever.
Yeah.
So they know how Orochi behave when you walk and all of that. So we needed to keep that pace, that feels. It's a good thing that we still have the same actor, mocap actor, so they have it in them, But it was pretty difficult because we had to redo the whole thing while keeping it still the same and the feeling. We didn't want to change the behavior of the character. We didn't want to do that. So just doing that was such a huge task. And every time we were doing something, we hit a blocker all the time because our graphs are all connected, like in the campaign as well. And there's a lot of connectivity everywhere. And we changed stuff and we're like, oh no, it breaks something else. So it was, I mean, Nolan.
I know. I was there.
That's the thing, right?
So now we understand why it was taking so long.
It looks like, yeah, it's super easy.
Now we know why it was taking so long for them to go ahead and
it's not even like it's
get rid of
It's
Reflex.
completely unpredictable.
And I'm not a game designer. I mean, I don't know anything that has to deal with game design, all that stuff. So if they've been having trouble with it, totally understandable. I'm not the kind. I wasn't like the one, that was actually.
All of that. It's all stuff that
wanted the Reflex
it's hard to
I was just playing the game. But
like,
we do have some play, some hardcore For Honor players that actually didn't like Reflex for all that stuff. So actually the majority of the people didn't want it. So
I think the mocap we
but yeah, I can totally understand why it would take them so long. So
yeah. So we thought about it.
Because I know some people would say, oh man, dude, why you just go ahead and change this? But the problem is,
exactly.
You're not a game designer. I mean, it's kind of like, if you ask somebody to go ahead and do this job, is it going to be simple? No, it's going to take some time.
And the thing is, we work on navigation, yes, but we have to rework.
It's like saying, like, you want somebody to cut down your tree.
Every time we do an attack,
that's near, like if you have a tree next to your house, and you want somebody to go and cut down that tree, it's not just going to be like cutting it down simpler like that. No, it's going to take some time. And I know it because I do tree service with my dad.
And
what
go
we do
through the
is we
whole
go
moveset,
ahead and
basically.
my dad climbs up the tree,
And at first
cuts
we're
the
like, oh, maybe
trees
we're not gonna see
limb
them
by
too much,
limb.
but
After
no,
that,
had to
we
rebuild
tie
that
up
old animation.
The
some
more we
large
replace-
limbs that are
we
actually a
tested
little
them
bit
internally,
near
the
the
more we're like,
house.
okay,
You have to
yeah,
go ahead and tie those because
Yeah.
we don't want to go ahead and do any damage to the house.
It
After
was
that,
super
we
visible.
carve off
Yeah,
the remaining
exactly. Yeah,
limbs,
'cause
cut
they're-
down the
yeah,
logs,
there.
take the
So
logs,
the,
put them in the truck, and after that,
So
boom,
yeah, so
clean
it
up
was
everything,
pretty- just even
simple like that.
opening
And
an old animation
usually
made,
sometimes
like,
it would take
I don't know,
basically
10
kind of like
years
a
ago,
day,
whatever.
depends how
Like,
many
it's
trees
so-
we do. Or if
sometimes
it's
it
more
doesn't
than just
work.
like, you
You
know,
know,
a
just-
couple
it's
trees.
gone. And you're
It's
like,
gonna take
oh,
multiple
what do we do?
days.
So we had to, you know,
So yeah, so
figure
I can
it
totally
out, but
understand where they were
we
coming
got it
from.
done. I've been practicing the
So-
speech for weeks.
Very
I'm so
good.
excited. I
So it's kind of like what I do too when it comes to video editing. You know, I don't just do
One more week.
you know
Waiting
my
for a
video
year,
kind of
you
like
guys.
this. No, I had to go ahead
Yeah, you got
and
it.
capture
And
the
I-
footage.
And I know like a lot
You
of
know,
players were like,
check
'cause
the
I've been
make sure that
seeing
the
on
audio is
Reddit,
nice and
like,
good,
Reddit,
edit
Twitter,
it,
apparently, but,
do my intro, all that
a
stuff.
lot
So
of it,
yeah,
you're like, well, why don't
it's,
you just
it's
set
not
the-
like kind of
the-
like quick and simple.
the
No,
stance
it's
that
a lot
like,
different.
when
So
you're in a-
Yeah.
like a
yeah,
super
but I
long
know
time,
that there's some
like,
people
really-
gonna be saying, "Oh, dude, why don't you just
But
go ahead and fix
every,
it?
like,
It's not
every
that
single
hard."
situation that we come up with, like,
How do you
can
know? You're not a game
Reflex
designer.
guard as is, and then tweak things.
So yeah,
Broke other things.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, okay, yeah, but it doesn't. It like
I
let's
kind of
say
feel
you
bad
keep
for
it
the
a long time,
developers
it
too because
doesn't
they were
fix
actually
the
getting like
issue
you
of your
know
guard
a
disappearing.
lot of pressure.
And if you keep it
you
for
know,
a
with
super
all that
long
stuff,
time
so,
and your
yeah.
guard doesn't disappear,
Like, I
when
totally
you walk
understand
in,
where
you
they're
might as well
coming
have
from.
static guard, right?
Right.
So it's all those little things that. We
But lucky
looked
for
at
me, I'm
and
not that
we
kind of
really
person.
tried to go,
I'm not that
can
kind
we
of person
keep
that
this
kind of like
and
you know
just
complains
tweak
about
it
everything.
so that it's a bit easier on everybody.
So I just
and
take
at
I
the
just take
end,
what I
the-
get.
The
So,
end
yeah.
result was always, well, we might as well not have reflex guard. So
Yeah, we just had to redo it.
yeah, that's it, right? It's better to
Cleanly,
redo it and make sure that we're good. Yes, it standardizes things a little bit, but it ends up being way better.
It's for the,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's for the best, and
Yeah.
it's a big buff to all the assassins, right?
Yeah.
And we already know like characters like heroes like Berserker, for example, is already super strong. Might be a bit too strong now.
It's
I don't
gonna
know.
change
Maybe a little
everything.
strong.
Right? It's changed a lot of stuff. I know like some characters that are like not played as much because they're assassins because they're a bit more frustrating to play.
We're gonna see so many Nusha now.
Yeah, we're gonna see them everywhere.
Best girl, best girl, Nisha.
Right? There's a lot of stuff. Like, of course, we're keeping an eye on balancing,
Yes.
making sure that things are okay there. But I'm really excited. Like we've been playing with it
Yeah.
internally for a little bit now. Feels so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes all the assassins way better. And yeah,
And keep in mind, like you just said, like I know on some emote we still have some. You might, if you do a combat emote, you might still see some residue of those animation. We're working on it. It's gonna be gone pretty soon, but we wanted the community to have it.
Yeah.
We're just can it goes.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, it was.
Yeah, so if you see bugs or anything,
Yeah,
the
just-
emotes-
just-
yeah,
yeah, that was. But we're all gonna clean that.
yeah.
I
Absolutely.
want them gone for real.
Not really. Yeah, it's absolutely a monumental change.
Mhm.
It's absolutely huge. And obviously, you know, there were a lot of people who worked on this over the past, you know, year, 2 years.
Yeah.
On this specifically, do we want to give?
Yeah, so
team
for us,
shout-outs
at least
for
like,
that?
on my side on the fight team, it's everyone on the world that's been on
Yeah.
the fight team for like the past 2 years. Everybody's touched it. Everybody's like worked on it a little bit,
Mhm.
removing it, doing the data so that things were okay.
Yep.
But also, what was tricky for us, and what I think I have to give really big kudos to our team is that while this was going on, the way under the hood that it was in, whenever changes were being done, we had to do them like twice, 3 times
Yeah.
to like other things
Yeah.
to make sure things
Yeah.
would be carried over. And so that was a monumental task for everybody on the fight team.
It added on every other thing. that
Yeah.
We're doing.
So like
Yeah.
every time we're doing a new hero, we're doing like reworks, whatever. It makes things a lot more complicated. It was a lot more work for us, but I'm super happy we're done, and I'm really thankful for the animation team, for Vanessa's team. They did it.
Yeah,
as well.
the team did amazing. I mean, everyone at some point throughout those years to work on it. And don't forget, like we still had to ship all the content that we shipped
Yeah.
like in the past years.
And other heroes, another rework.
All of that
Yeah.
was happening at the same time that we
Yeah.
were doing that. So it's quite a lot. It added a lot. So big shout out to all the team, and also just for Kadem as well, one of our animators that worked
Yeah.
6 months straight on this feature
Yes.
only. We usually like rotate stuff, just you can work on everything, but specifically Kadem, thank you for this. It's a big one. I hope the community likes it. I mean, I'm so happy it's out now.
Oh,
Happy
of
to
course, everybody's
talk
gonna
about
like it. They've been requesting that for
But even
since
the
the
full
be-
team,
since the
everybody
game
else,
launched.
I mean, all the blocker that we got. And
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the entire For Honor team
Yeah.
was involved in this in some shape
Yeah.
or form.
Mhm.
That's it, like for tools, for code, for like
Yeah.
everything, right? So because it impacted so much more
Mhm.
than just we're just removing it in the data and we're doing animation.
If we add the
So much
button
more,
to
yeah.
remove the reflex guard,
Yeah.
we're gonna use it if we have it, but we don't have it. So
Yeah.
no, we had to redo everything. So
Awesome. Well,
Very-
Yeah.
that's amazing. Well, thank you both very much. And community, again, one more week. You got one more week, so enjoy Reflex Guard for this next week because September 14th, it's gone.
It's completely
Gone.
gone.
It's gone forever. No more posts about it, please.
No, we want to post
Okay,
about
just put
the
feedback.
fact that you
Good,
like
but
the
Yeah,
no
if you're happy
Reflex
that it's not there
Guard.
anymore.
can't ask us to remove it anymore because
So
it's
now-
gone.
It's gone.
Yeah,
Good
what
to
they
go.
say about that. I think there's still gonna be
So,
another thing
yeah,
that
thank you very
the
much,
players are
Jesse.
gonna be
Thank you very
saying.
much, Vanessa. Warriors,
Depends
stick
what-
around
what-
because
what's
this
gonna be
isn't
the
the
next
only
thing, though.
gameplay update we have for you. We have some patch notes we're gonna talk about coming up next with JC. So stick around, and we'll see you in a second. All right.
Bye.
Alright. Awesome! So that's awesome. They're getting rid of Reflex Squad. So now everybody's gonna be happy about that. But you know what? It's not gonna really, there's still gonna be players that are gonna be complaining about something else. Of course. I mean, come on, dude. It's not that simple. We got rid of one thing, but then there's gonna be something else that the players are gonna talk about. So yeah. But either way, I'm excited. I'm happy about that. So yeah, I'm really happy that everybody's getting what they wanted, and that is the removal of Reflex Squad. So now the assassins and the Shaolin are gonna be, gonna be the same as everybody else. So that's awesome. Cool.